For our next part of Grammar Level 4, we're going to look at sentence structure. Sentence structure, which is also known as syntax, is just the way in which clauses are put together in order to create a single sentence. And there are 4 different types of sentence structures. You can have a simple sentence, a compound one, complex, or join those and make a compound complex. In this screencast, we'll talk about those first 2, simple and compound. A simple sentence is, as the name suggests, pretty simple. So by definition, it can only have one independent clause. And a simple sentence can be really useful for a writer if you're trying to isolate an idea for attention, or if you're trying to call or create emphasis for a particular statement. When it comes to punctuation of a simple sentence, it's really just the independent clause followed by whatever your terminal punctuation is. So it could end in a period, it could end in an exclamation point, or it could end in a question. So if you look in the example box, I have 3 simple sentences, and all of them have subject-predicate pairs underlined. So for a simple declarative sentence, I could say, there are 3 weeks until finals. There's a subject, are is the predicate. Or I can't believe there are 3 weeks until finals. I would be the subject, can believe would be the predicate there, and that is an exclamatory sentence with an exclamation point. Or, wait, we have a final in this class? In that case, we is the subject and have is the predicate, and it's an interrogative sentence because it's a question mark. But regardless of the end punctuation, the structure here is all simple because they all only have one subject-predicate pair. Now, if you add on to that and you have 2 or more independent clauses, so remember, these are clauses that can stand alone as sentences, then you have what we call a compound sentence. And when a writer is making a decision about the type of sentence to use, it's good to note that a compound sentence is one that puts ideas kind of on the same level, or gives them equal weight, if you will. So let's look at my purple sentence here below. I say, I like chocolate and I like cake. The way that sentence is structured, I've got 2 independent clauses. I like chocolate and I like cake. Because they are equally important, they're just joined by a comma plus a fanboy. Okay, so that's what a compound sentence does. It doesn't really prioritize one or the other. Now, that's an example of a compound sentence with 2 independent clauses, but by definition, a compound sentence can have 2 or more. So for example, in the kind of greenish color, I like chocolate, I like cake, and I love chocolate cake. I've got 3 independent clauses. I could go on with, 25 independent clauses about all sorts of desserts, and it would still be a compound sentence as long as they're all independent clauses. So usually when you're joining independent clauses, you do it with a comma plus a fanboys, like these examples, but you can also in some circumstances join independent clauses with just a semicolon. And in that case, you don't use a coordinating conjunction or a fanboys. Now, the rule with semicolons is that the first half of the sentence has to clearly relate to the second half of the sentence. So in my example down here, I say, I like chocolate, I love chocolate cake. That second independent clause is sort of building off of the idea from the first one, so it's okay to join with a semicolon. If your independent clauses are totally unrelated, like I like chocolate, it's a Wednesday, then you couldn't connect them with a semicolon because they don't have that same relationship. So to practice with these 2 sentence types, I've given you a couple of, or 4 different sentences here, and in each example, I want you to combine the 2 sentences into one compound sentence. So go ahead and pause the video here, and you can jot these down in your notes, and then we'll take a look at these in class.